portrays to the world that in Ghana, women generally and our traditional rulers are not relegated to the background when it comes to national issues. In the development agenda, women, as we are aware, are in the majority in the agri sector. Traditional rulers also continue to provide the needed leadership in support of government in its developmental efforts. I hereby appeal to all present to support and cooperate with me as your chair to steer the affairs of this great occasion. Once again, I thank you all and I accept wholeheartedly. Thank you.
The VNR process, which led to the preparation of the report, forms an integral part of the 2030 agenda, as it affords us an opportunity to learn and be better and improve on our development implementation process. I believe this will help us to accelerate the efforts and also advance the cause of the SDGs in Ghana in the decade that we have declared as a decade of action. As we launch the VNR report, let us all identify the gap and the gaps we can help bridge and the good interventions we can help scale up. We are in this together.
As we launch the 2022 VNR report today, we want to congratulate the NDPC and by extension government for its show of exemplary leadership in steering a partnership with CSOs, even in the face of apparent divergent perspectives and opinions. We encourage other agencies of government to learn from this process that it is possible to forge progressive working partnership with civil society. Let us work together to ensure that no Ghanaian is left behind. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.
SDGs framework is quite extensive and considerably complex, and it is necessary to educate the corporate citizens and prioritize the primary steps in the implementation of the SDG and its indicators to match national priorities. Consequently, both the private sector and the public sector must find an efficient means to amend and improve their plans and strategies in line with the requirements of Agenda 2030 towards proper implementation of SDGs.
The 2022 Voluntary National Review Report indeed did not leave persons with disabilities behind. The consultative process held 3 special sessions with over 46 representatives of organizations of and for persons with disabilities and their development partners. Above all, the consultative sessions observed accessibility requirements. For instance, it was ensured that there was sign language interpretation throughout the consultations. The representatives of His Excellency the President. Currently, there are 26 different categories of persons with disabilities in Ghana, and we have over 96 organizations of and for persons with disabilities. We are very happy and grateful to NDPC, to our president, and to our ministers for gender, children, and social protection, for putting in measures to ensure that there is systemic inclusion of all categories of persons with disabilities in national development.
According to the UN Global Youth Report 2020, the active engagement of youth in sustainable development efforts is central to achieving inclusive societies. The United Nations System-wide Youth Strategy and Youth 2030 also affirms the belief that young people in all their diversity need to be full-fledged partners in the work of the United Nations in the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development to abet threats and challenges of climate change, teenage pregnancy, unemployment, poverty, gender inequality, conflict, migration, among others. To deepen Ghana's VNR report for 2020, Youth Advocates Ghana, in collaboration with the National Development Planning Commission and UNFPA Ghana, published the first ever Youth SDG report, highlighting youth actions, challenges and opportunities to further ensure meaningful participation of children and young people in the SDGs implementation in Ghana.
This report is the result of consultative and participatory processes led by the National Development Planning Commission, involving Government of Ghana ministries, departments and agencies, civil society, including representatives of youth, women, children and persons with disability, the private sector, UN agencies and a host of development partners. We welcome and we commend the Government of Ghana's strong commitment to the SDGs as demonstrated through this process. I echo to all of you and for this leadership.
So in the spirit of inclusion, we learned how to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our brothers who are impaired, both, with the ears and then with the mouth. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to walk through the greetings for good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Good morning. For the last time, good morning. Good evening. And good night. Good night. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause.
With this particular report of 2022, of course, it's built on the existing structure that was set up in 2019, which was our first time. And this particular one learned a number of lessons. So, for example, what we did during this 2022 was to see which areas we can actually leverage on, where were the gaps during the 2019, and going forward, what we have to do new. And we want to use this opportunity to also indicate that we'll be working more with you and then ensuring that going forward is not only selected few that you might think you have not come to your end, but everyone is brought on board. So be ready for us. We are coming to you. Receive us. We partner together and ensuring that the SD that is being talked about in Ghana is highly inclusive and no one is left behind.
Ongoing global crisis, I dare say, should bring out the best in us as one people with one common destiny. Government remains resolute in its commitment to forge strong and beneficial partnerships, take advantage of our relative strengths, and mobilize the resources needed to address the critical development challenges that our country and indeed humanity and our planet faces. And in so doing, we shall live
no one behind. Accordingly, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor to launch Ghana's 2022 Voluntary National Review Report, and may God bless us all in our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. I thank you all for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of our Republic,
please stay behind as I excuse from the official party the Executive Secretary of the National Council on Persons with Disability, the representative of PEF, the Youth Advocate. A round of applause as they take their seats. And with 3 happy cheers, we say hip hip. Hip hip. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Ghana's 2022 Voluntary National Review Report on the SDGs is duly launched.
All right, so we've come to this meeting, a really excellent meeting, which we've really benefited all from. We learned of 17 goals and problems the country was facing and their respective solutions to them, which is going to benefit us for years to come.
Okay, so first of all, we are the future leaders, and if we don't learn and improve upon the country, there's no one who will do that. So in my opinion, we would learn hard and do our best so that we could also be people who change the face of Ghana. Yes, basically.
The review reminds us that we have 8 years left to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. And with the interruption of the external shocks of COVID-19 and Ukraine-Russia war, we need to double our efforts at attaining each of the 17 SDGs.